Hey guys, Mark here with another top 10 list. This time is going to be top 10 designer fragrances for the season of fall for 2010. If you haven't checked out my past video, I just did one on my top 10 for niche for fall 2010. Go check that out. I also have a fall list for last year, 2009. So go check out that video if you haven't checked out those videos. Great lists. Also, I have a list for every season now. We're actually going to be comparing lists now, which is the exciting part. So for last year and this year. And we're going to start with fall. So, top 10 designer. Now, I took up my old bottles, my old top 10 for last year. I was taking a look at them and I was like, wow, I had a sweet tooth last year. We got some sweet fragrances like Le Male, 1 Million, Roca, Fuel for Life, and then we got some like powdery floral fragrances, L'Homme, Yves Saint Laurent, Burberry Brit, Prada Ever Put On. So my taste has changed from year to year, quite a bit actually. A lot of these bottles that made it last year aren't going to make it this year. This year I went more of an earthy vibe. You'll see a much darker fragrances. They really encompass fall in my eyes. In Canada, we get a lot of rain in the fall before we get the snow. And fall reminds me of wet grass, wet earth, mossiness. The leaves are on the ground and they're getting wet also. So really a wet feeling, really dark earthiness. And that's what I'm trying to encompass with my top 10 this year. So I'm trying to get rid of my sweet tooth, get rid of those powdery fragrances and start new. And it's really great to see how my taste changed. Like, I know it's not just me, you guys too. I'm sure there's a bottle that you loved last year or a few years ago as your go-to guy, and then you just kind of fell out of it, kind of get tired of it, or so you put that one away. Or there's some fragrances that you really hated it when you first smelt it, and then a few years later you smell it somewhere, or you have a texture of it and you're like, wow, I didn't remember this smelling this good, I really like it now. So your taste changes, and it changes quick. In a year, my top 10 is different. So my top 10 lists are personally mine. For this year, I'm not going to be wearing most of these because I'm going to be overseas in the fall, so I'm going to miss it, and this is more like a prediction of what I would have been wearing this year based on my taste. But usually these top 10 lists are my personal opinion on what I was wearing, what I've been rotating through. So let's take a look. What I'm going to do with this list is a little different than what I usually do. This is the first time I'm going to be doing this, and it's basically comparing my last year's list with this year's list. I'm not saying any of these from last year are bad. These are all excellent fragrances for fall. I recommend any of these. If I had a top 20 list, probably all these bottles. So let's take a look and see which one lost a spot or right out of the top 10. So let's take a look at last year's number 10, which is Boss Bottled, a great fall fragrance, but fell out of the list this year, sadly, and replaced by a darker fragrance. And this is a fragrance that actually I got a taste for, or a smell for, back in February of 2010. Been wearing it a lot for spring, and I brought it back again for fall. And this one is Narciso Rodriguez for Him. Almost a wet asphalt, or kind of reminds me of when it's raining in town. Now, a lot of you are going to say, why would I want to smell like that? Well, it's really unique, and it's a great dark fragrance that you absolutely have to try. I think this is a masterpiece, and I still have to review this bottle, but a great fragrance overall, and that's my number 10 for 2010. So we'll start off the list with that one. All right, 2009, number 9 was Diesel Fuel for Life, a great college teen scent, but I had to grow up a little bit and go a little darker. And this is going to be one of 2 Thierry Mugler fragrances in this list, and this one is Pure Coffee. Pure Coffee. Now this one is sadly discontinued, only available online, and to me is worth the price. This is a great fall fragrance and really encompasses a fall feeling, really dark coffee-like fragrance. So amazing fall fragrance, and that's number 9 for me this year. Number 8, last year was Roca Man. Again, mochaccino vibe, a great fall fragrance, but it fell out of the running this year. We're going to go with the more dark, earthy fragrances, and this one I've really been enjoying a lot lately because we're getting a lot of rain, a lot of cooler weather now in Canada, and I've been testing this one out a lot for a review, a recent review. This is Encre Noire by Lalique. Just reviewed it, and just lately I've just been blown away by this fragrance, a great fall fragrance for 2010. Alright, number 7 last year was Pure Coffee. It actually stayed in the top 10. It's number 9 this year, but it lost its number 7 spot, so it went down a few spots. So we got to replace it. And my new number 7 for this year is going to be La Nuit de l'Homme by Yves Saint Laurent. Now, if you would have asked me a few months ago which YSL fragrance that I would enjoy the most, I would have went with the original. But this one is slowly beating the original now. I'm really enjoying this, and it's great for fall, and a great fall fragrance. So definitely check that one out if you have not. Right, number 6. Last year was a fragrance that I had for like a couple weeks, and it blew me away so much that it made my top 10 list. It got number 6, and this is Givenchy Play Intense. Sadly, this fragrance did not make the list this year. It's going to be replaced by a much sweeter fragrance. This is 1 Million by Paco Rabanne. And this fragrance, I kind of lost touch with it. I really did not enjoy it lately. I'm starting to like it a little more again, but I don't think it was top 5 worthy, but I really felt like it could make the top 10, and it made number 6. I didn't really want to put it in the top 5, so number 6 for Paco Rabanne's 1 Million. Still a great fragrance for fall. Alright, my number 5. Last year was 5A, 5B, none of that jumped this year. 5B was Burberry Brit, 5A was Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme. Both did not make the cut for this year's list. Again, we're going to go with the darker fragrances, and this is Fahrenheit by Christian Dior, the original. Again, invoking that darker feeling. Perfect for fall. Perfect for fall. I just can't describe it. My top 5 really invokes fall to me. So number 5, Fahrenheit. Okay, number 4. Last year was Prada Amber Pour Homme. Beautiful soapy fragrance. Very classy, but I had to go in the earthy, darker, and it's going to be Terre d'Hermès by Hermès, and this is just outstanding for fall. Outstanding. Works like a charm. Number 3 last year was actually Burberry London, but I did not have the bottle, and I replaced it with 1 Million. As you can see, 1 Million went down to number 6. So who's number 3 this year? Again, Burberry London's going to hold that spot. It's going to hold it well. And I wanted it to be number 3 by itself this year because it does deserve that number 3 slot by itself. So great fall fragrance. Really encompasses fall to me. Definitely a great fall fragrance. Number 3. Number 2 last year was Yves Saint Laurent's L'Homme. And this one kind of fell off the face of the earth in my top 10 list. I really didn't even consider it for my top 10 this year, and not saying it's a bad fragrance. I really enjoy it. It's still one of my favorites, but for fall, it's just not there anymore. So I put it away, and La Nuit de l'Homme took its spot at number 7 as my favorite L'Homme fragrance. But number 2 this year is Le Male by Jean Paul Gaultier. So that only means one thing. And one thing only, that we have a new number 1 this year for fall 2010. And if you didn't know, yes, Le Male was number 1 last year for fall, and it lost its spot to Thierry Mugler's Pure Malt. Again, I got this in the fall last year, and it made my number 1 list. It was number 1 for winter for 2009. And it's continuing its success in my list as number 1 for fall 2010. So Pure Malt, definitely check it out. It got reissued, it's back. Go check it out. Check out the various reviews that are on there online on YouTube. We got tons of them that are reiterating, telling you guys to purchase it. So that's my top 10 list. Thanks for watching, YouTube.